What you just witnessed was a disgusting combination of failure and complacency, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll catch you all up to speed. There is a guy who goes by the name of Damo on YouTube, and he set a goal for himself to bench 405 pounds. Part of the reason why he set that goal was because he's been battling with depression, and I will let him explain the situation.
What is something so important to you, but nobody understands why? For me, that's benching 405. For the last 2 years, I was depressed. It started when I traded this prestigious college program for my 100 subs on YouTube. But suddenly, I started hitting every goal I dreamed of. It looked beautiful on the outside, but fuck, did it suck on the inside. You know, all I wanted to do in my life was create something I truly cared about. I couldn't keep pretending I loved making these videos that I found no purpose, no meaning in, until one day,
you know what we gotta do? We gotta start like a series of us trying to get to 405. 6 months long series, 200-pound body weight.
Because maybe I finally found something that I actually want to make. I actually loved making. I'm making something that I actually was fucking passionate about. That somehow all the shit going on in my head would just go away. And maybe, just maybe, I'd be happy again.
So like he said, this guy Damo started a YouTube channel. It started popping off, making tons of views, lots of money. But then he realized he's doing nothing but useless shit that he doesn't care about, so he figured he'd set his goal on something he does care about, like benching 405. And he did not meet that fucking goal. If you zoom in, you will see that during the concentric portion of the lift, Damo lifts his ass way off the bench. And it's not just by a little bit, it is by a huge amount. You could fit Cali Muscle's big black cock in between his ass and the bench. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with powerlifting or just lifting weights in general, the reason why your ass cannot lift off the bench during a bench press is because it gives you a ton of extra leverage. You can get at least an extra 20 pounds on your bench if your ass lifts off the bench. I would say in Damo's case, he may have even been getting over 30 pounds of extra leverage just because of how far his ass left off the bench. And what's important to note is that Damo knows this. Damo knows that he did not bench 405. He knows that your ass can't leave the bench during a bench press. He's competed in powerlifting where, again, he abided by the rules where your ass can't leave the bench. Every training session you'll see this guy in, his ass does not leave the bench. Even when he's practicing heavy singles or attempting 1-rep maxes, his ass does not leave the bench, except when he just one day decided, even though he wasn't prepared for it, to bench 405. I made a video on a very similar topic a while back where another guy tried to bench 405 and he failed because he lifted his ass off the bench and he tried to pass it off as a completed lift. And I know exactly what losers are going to say in the comment section trying to defend this bullshit. They're going to say, it's a gym lift. Why are you using powerlifting meet standards to judge a gym lift? Well, I'm not using powerlifting meet standards. In a powerlifting meet, you have to wear certain clothes, you have to wear this tight, weird leotard or some crap. There's 3 judges, you're going to get a down command, an up command, and a rack command. The bar has to come to a complete stop at the bottom of the lift. There's a bunch of rules that I'm not demanding for a gym lift. The only thing that I'm demanding is that you bring the bar down to your chest, you lift it all the way up, and during that process, your ass stays on the bench. There has to be some kind of standard for which, we judge these lifts. How else are we going to have, objective strength standards? How else are we going to be able to judge each other's strengths if we do these lifts completely differently. Again, if your ass lifts off the bench, you can easily lift an extra 20, 30 pounds. That's unfair. That's stupid. And he knows this. That's why whenever he goes to a powerlifting meet, he keeps his ass on the bench. That's why whenever he's training, he keeps his ass on the bench. That's why when he's attempting 1-rep maxes, he keeps his ass on the bench. But when he attempted this 405, he said, fuck it, because he's a complacent failure. I honestly don't think this guy got depressed because he was making YouTube videos that he didn't really care about. At the end of the day, he still has a job where he can do whatever the hell he wants, really. He can still make videos on whatever topic he wants. He still gets to make these videos with friends and have fun. He still is making a lot of money. He is still getting a lot of positive reception from the videos he has, and he has a really, positive, supportive community. I think the reason he got depressed is because he has no moral standards for which to judge himself or others, and he is surrounded by complacent losers who also won't hold him to account. Imagine trying to bench 405 pounds, failing, obviously, completely and utterly failing, knowing you failed, and then when you rack the weight and start to sit up, you think in your head, you know what? I failed, but I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to complete that 405-pound bench. So I'm just going to act like I did it anyway. I'm going to cry. I'm going to act all happy like, oh my God, I actually did it. And my loser friends that I'm surrounded by are going to go along with it because they're complacent. They don't care that I failed. And we're all just going to act like we completed something and accomplished something. That would make me fucking depressed too. And I don't think him doing this made him feel any better. How the fuck would it? This guy could set another goal, a 700-pound squat. Why don't you just squat down halfway and have your loser friends cheer you on and act like you actually accomplished something? I have suffered from suicidal depression my entire life. When I was only 6 years old, I nearly took a bath with a toaster. I don't know how many times I nearly decided to jump off a building, off of bridges, slit my wrists open. Just recently, I had to take some more medication because I almost offed myself. But at least, when I set goals and I reach those goals, there's something to be proud of. I'm trying to bench 405 pounds right now. I know what I need to be able to bench 405, and each time I hit a PR in the gym, it's something to be proud of, makes me a little bit happier, because I know I actually achieved something. You achieved nothing. You failed a 405-pound bench press. Everyone around you saw that you failed a 405-pound bench press, but you're all complacent, you're all fine with failure, and you just pretended as if you did. I think anybody would be depressed in a situation like that, with a mindset like that, and being surrounded by friends like that. At the beginning of his own video, he was complaining about how he was making videos that he didn't care about, that didn't matter to him, and he is literally doing things that don't matter to him. Failing and acting like he won. That would make anybody depressed. And I was looking at his training leading up to this 405 attempt, and he clearly wasn't ready. Now, I don't know everything about his training and what's going on behind the scenes, but in November on his Instagram, he uploaded a video of him performing a heavy single. It's probably a true 1-rep max with 285, and he actually lifted it. It didn't look like his ass came off the bench. But 3 weeks before this 405 attempt, he failed 285. His ass came way off the bench, and I only saw him completing heavy singles with 365. When really he should be doing reps with that weight if he wants to bench 405. You really should be able to do sets of 3 with 365 if you're going to bench 405. So people were blowing smoke up his ass this entire time, and he really wasn't being honest with himself. I think going into this, even he knew he wasn't going to be able to bench 405. So no wonder you're depressed, dude. Take a reality check. Benching 405 is hard. It takes a while. I had to go on a very long hypertrophy phase to be able to push through a plateau I had where I couldn't bench more than 315 for reps. So it just takes a while, dude. Sometimes you have to take a step back, change your training. not focus on, heavy singles and sets of 3 for a while, do more rep work, and then go back to doing some more heavy stuff, and then, being able to maybe do 405 later. It's just hard. And this guy only weighs like 200 pounds too, I think. I'm 289. That's what I last weighed in at. And I'm not even able to bench 405. So yeah, it's hard, dude. And I think one of the reasons why people are going along with this charade is because they just feel bad for him, that he's sad and depressed. Even Greg Doucette, who is a powerlifter who knows how to bench press properly, left a comment saying, "Oh yeah, great job." It's just horseshit. And people leaving comments like this, I don't think it's going to help him, honestly. I don't think he needs people blowing smoke up his ass, lying to him. I honestly think he just actually needs to be held accountable and, try hard and do something. Like, if he actually wants some kind of meaning in his life and something that he actually cares about, like, he's going to have to actually do it. So people leaving comments like this, I don't think it's helping. Anyway, those are my words of wisdom. Poopy doopy.
As I promised, if I don't bench 405 today, I'll click this button and every episode of this series will be deleted forever.
As I promised, if I don't bench 405 today, I'll click this button and every episode of this series will be deleted forever.